Hey guys, welcome back to How to Rip's Lesson of the Week. In today's episode, we're going to talk about one of the biggest factors that actually separates a beginner surfer from an intermediate surfer, and that is how to actually throw more spray in your turns. We're going to break that down today because I don't know about you, but when you're watching a surfer, when they throw big spray in their turns, it's one of the most impressive things there is, and I love it. We're going to walk through how we can improve the amount of spray that you throw in this video. And if you're new here, why don't you subscribe to our channel where we upload 2 videos a week to help your surfing progress. So, throwing more spray, well, it sounds simple in theory, but we've broken it down into 4 key elements, and we're going to break down each element, and the first one is speed. Put simply, everything looks better when performed with speed. You throw more spray, and your turns are more critical. And in addition to this, you can actually perform more maneuvers with speed. Things like reverses and airs can't be done unless you're going fast. Have a think about the best surfers in the world. Let's use Mick Fanning as an example. He's known as the White Lightning because he surfs incredibly fast. He's able to surf so fast because he maintains his speed from the start of the wave to the finish. Now, by performing your maneuvers with speed, you'll actually be able to throw more spray.
Alright, so let's check out this example here. Notice how the first turn was performed with little speed, and you can see little spray, and it wasn't a very critical maneuver. However, this next turn I had more speed, more drive off the bottom, and the turn had much more spray and was much more critical. And this turn here was a balance between the two, where it had fattened out a bit, so I just finished off with a roundhouse. In this example here, I once again had little speed, and you can see that little spray was thrown. And then this example here is when I had bucket loads of speed. It was a good wave for this day, and I was able to perform my maneuvers high and tight in the pocket with speed, power and flow. And consequently, you can see that there was more spray produced.
Good surfers will always perform their maneuvers high and tight on a wave. Now, if you remember nothing else from this video except for those 2 words, high and tight, I think you'll be throwing much more spray. High means close to the lip. Tight means in the pocket of the wave, in the steeper section. This will produce more spray in your turns.
So when we talk about positioning on a wave, talking about a few things. One is where you actually perform your maneuver. We want to perform our maneuvers high and tight. So high on the wave, as close to the lip as possible, and in the steeper section of the wave, which is generally in the pocket.
Let's take a look at a surfer who performed a turn mid-face. Instead of high on the wave, he performed it in the middle of the wave. Now, had he actually performed this turn on the top of the wave, he would have thrown more vertical spray and it would have looked more impressive.
The higher on the wave we perform our turns, the more spray we'll get. The other thing we talk about with positioning is the section that we actually perform on. Now, I mentioned that steeper sections will produce more spray and more critical turns. They will look much better. Here we can see the wave started off pretty flat, but as it went along, the section slowly got steeper and the spray improved and the turns got more and more critical. See this turn here, it was quite a steep section, managing for more vertical spray and a more pocket turn, and then finishing off with a little roundhouse there.
If you perform your manoeuvres without power or with little power, they look soft, they look weak, and they look unimpressive, and ultimately you'll be unsatisfied with how that manoeuvre actually feels and how it looks. So you must perform your turns with power. But how do we actually perform it with power? Well, let's have a look.
Power can best be described as how much aggression you actually put into that turn, and aggression can be described best as how fast that direction change occurs when you're performing your turn. Generally, shorter, sharper turns performed at high speed are more powerful because of the aggression and the fastness of that direction change. Another key factor in surfing with maximum power is how much rail of your board is actually in the water, and therefore how much fin is actually out of the water. In this example here, we can see that at this point my board was very much out of the water because I put a lot of power and aggression into this turn. And at this stage here you can see the maximum spray was produced when I had the most fin out the water and the most rail in the water.
Let's have a look at some surfers performing manoeuvres without power.
So performing your turns aggressively with fast direction changes will produce the most amount of spray. Another way to put more power into your turns and therefore produce more spray is the bottom turn. Now bottom turns vary from turn to turn, from wave to wave. Sometimes you'll be really low and drawing hard off the bottom. Others won't be as aggressive. However, having an understanding that a big bottom turn will result in a big top turn is key.
And the last key point we're going to talk about is timing. Timing is the icing on the cake. When we talk about timing, it means putting the first three elements all together in one, in sync, perfectly. It means having the maximum amount of speed, performing your turn in the critical position on the wave, remember, high and tight. And it means attacking that turn with power and really driving through your heels or your toes to produce the maximum spray that you can. Thanks for watching the video today, guys. I hope that now you know how to throw more spray, and for a beginner surfer, this is a skill that you need to master to progress to the intermediate level. Guys, remember to like the video, subscribe to our channel, and comment below to let us know what else you want to see. If you want to stay up to date with the boards that we're riding and the gear that we're using, you can see all of that in the video description below. Remember to mention How to Rip for special offers. I'm out of here, guys. Catch you in the surf. Something like this one.
On the wave, then looking